That I lent my favorite weeder to a friend last summer and haven't seen it since. What would you do? Ask for it back, or is it even worth it for a weeder?
I won't let anybody else even use my pruners.
But isn't there like that golden rule that if you lend something out to somebody, you have to lend it out without the intention of ever getting it back?
Oh, Robert, I want you to listen to my new favorite podcast. Like, dude, your hammer bent. And I'm like, how? And you were like, oh, I was trying to jack up a car.
The Helpful Gardeners, the podcast that digs into the buzziest plant trends and news you need to know, regardless of your growing zone. Colin is a skilled horticulturist with decades of growing experience across Canada. Brandi is the greenest of green thumbs with a love of asking questions. Welcome to our garden nook.
I heard you were going to be planting your depression gardening this week. Did that happen?
Got everything prepped. It's just literally a matter of finding the time to actually go to the next step.
I bet you there are a ton of people who can just relate to that. They're like this season already seems to be flying by.
The thing is, you know what? Most of the work is in the prep. Most of the work is in the prep. Once you have everything ready, it's a George Washington, I think, Abraham Lincoln, I don't know, some old president, I guess, said, if you give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'll spend the first 4 sharpening my axe.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what it is. A lot of times we run, and I'm super guilty of this, run in like a bull in the china shop and create more problems than I need to. Slow it down, prep accordingly. And I'll probably, by this time next week, ask me the same question.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I know we had already started these spider plants in pine cones. If you missed that episode, I'm going to link it down below. But essentially, we just took pine cones from the neighborhood and filled them with spider plants. And I can't believe that I'm looking at green plants because what was it? We planted these maybe a month or two ago.
Yeah, probably about maybe month and a half.
Yeah, like a long time ago. And they're still growing? Question mark. So I don't know. Did you replace them with artificial plants? Nope. Like, are they actually growing?
Exact same ones. So
that's wild.
Yeah. I still can't see any roots.
Yeah.
I looked this morning and there's nothing happening in there, but a couple of things I've noticed. So I think they might be a little bit behind.
Yeah.
But with that being said, and I don't want to drip water everywhere, but you can even see a tiny smidge of new growth coming out.
Okay. I see one on the other one too.
Total conversation piece.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, what's this? So total conversation piece. Everybody is very interested in what's going on. You got to clean the water regularly.
Oh, yeah.
It gets manky. And when you clean the water, rinse your pine cone because it's clean because I did it.
Yeah.
But this part here, you can see the dark was rather sludgy, slimy.
Ew, okay. Yeah. Just like regular decomposition,
now,
hey?
That being said, though, once the roots establish and that goes into soil.
Yeah.
Okay, it should stop it because it'll dry out, it'll get wet, just like a pine cone lying on the ground in the forest.
Right.
So I'm guessing it'll be okay once I get them into soil, but that water's a little rank when I clean it.
Yeah.
Just organic material and non-moving water. If you've got an air pump, I don't know, put one in.
All right.
But it's definitely working. The plants are definitely, if not thriving, they are surviving and growing. But there are a couple of downsides.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. We're going to keep kind of looking at these pine cones and updating you on how it's going. If you had also taken part in this challenge, drop a comment down below and just let us know how it's been going for you. You were talking about the whole prep for your depression era garden. And which, by the way, I'm going to put that down below as well. If you're like, what are they talking about? It was this.
Where I was like, garden is so good, except for when you're in your depression.
Yeah, exactly. It's not seasonal depression we're talking about. No, it was this great story out of Ontario. And I'll leave it at that. You can go and listen to the episode. It was really sweet. But you were talking about prep work. And that kind of leads us into today's question of the week by Pam. She said, I was going through my tools and remembered that I lent my favorite weeder to a friend last summer and haven't seen it since. What would you do? Ask for it back, or is it even worth it for a weeder? Should I just buy another?
Ask for it back.
So, wow, you're just like quick to it. You're
like, hell yeah. I might not have been that quick, except she said my favorite.
Oh.
So ask for
Isn't
back.
that so interesting how us gardeners, like if it was like a keyboard or if it was, something
Yep.
else, we'd be like, whatever.
Yep.
But for some reason, us gardeners like what we like.
I've got, I think, 4 garden trowels.
Yeah.
Okay. I only use one. And God forbid if I'm planting with Jenny and or Harry.
Yeah.
So I always get all the tools. Everybody's got like jobs and we're all doing
Yeah.
it together. That as I lift up my bucket of hand tools, that trowel goes straight into my back pocket.
Okay, let's talk about this. Why did you choose that one as your favorite one?
Just fits comfortably in my hand. I like
Okay.
the aesthetic of it. I like the way it digs. Like, so when you look at a tool, like you can look at 4 trowels and maybe you look and you go, oh, they're all the same, right? A trowel is a trowel is a trowel, right? But if you actually look and you look at the handle and you look at like the way some of them curve and they've got that and some of them are slanted or some of them are straight. So it's a different angle on how you dig. So it's ergonomic and how your wrist is moving.
Yeah.
Is it a very wide blade so it takes out a huge chunk of soil, or is it more like a transplanting trowel and it's narrow so you have to dig more, but you can get into harder ground for compaction? So there's a lot that goes into it.
That's a great point, actually. Yeah, because there's not like a standard way to make a trowel.
Nope.
They've all got to have some sort of an edge to them.
Some of them have got the grooves for your fingers. Some of them
Yeah.
are the wood handles.
Yeah. Some of them like look pretty.
Yep.
Right. Some maybe your thing was like a sentimental thing. Maybe it was given as a gift.
Yeah.
That
totally
could
valid.
also be a thing.
Or you inherited it.
But like, does it matter what kind of tool it is?
No.
So it could be like literally from the most mundane to the most specialty tool for you.
I don't like it when people keep my Tupperware.
Okay, sir.
You don't. But
No, I did for a long
it
time.
doesn't matter. I don't care if you hold on to it.
Yeah.
If I lend somebody, if I make food and I give somebody Tupperware,
Yeah.
I don't expect them to eat it and give it back. I'm giving you the food. You eat it at your time, not mine. If you're like, hey, dude, I've got a big clay bed. I need to break it up. Can I borrow your clay shovel? A rather esoteric tool.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
everybody has one.
Yeah.
I will absolutely lend that to you. I am not going to be like on Monday, hey, where's my shovel? You're like, I didn't get to it this weekend, but it was a beautiful day. I went out with Bennett and Brad.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, well, I need my shovel back. You need it. I don't need it. But if by next season rolls around and I don't have my shovel, I'm going to be like, hey, remember that shot? Like,
But isn't there like that golden rule that if you lend something out to somebody, you have to lend it out without the intention of ever getting it back?
I don't think that's lending. I think that's giving.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's less like, I've heard that a lot in the financial space, right? Like, hey, could you lend me like $100? You have to feel okay with not getting that back.
Sure. And okay, I understand where you're coming from now. Absolutely. That's a valid point.
Yeah.
Okay. I've lent people tools before, from hammers to shovels, you name it, and they've broken it. Okay.
Oh, great point.
My dad taught me a rule when I was a kid, and I'm like that. It's airtight, I believe. If I lend you a hammer and you use it as a hammer and it breaks, so you're pulling a nail and one of the claws breaks off, that would have happened to me. So no harm, no foul. Okay. You don't owe me a hammer. That could have happened to me.
Yeah.
If I lend you a hammer and you're like, dude, your hammer bent. And I'm like, how? And you were like, oh, I was trying to jack up a car. You owe me a hammer. Because if you'd needed to borrow a car jack, I would have lent you a car jack. So I'm okay with not getting a tool back. If I lend somebody a tool and they were like, hey, dude, I was digging a hole for my tree and I broke the handle of your shovel.
Yep.
No problem. I'll just go buy a new shovel.
Yeah.
Like, don't sweat it. That's not how I operate. But if you're just willfully keeping it.
Yeah.
Like in the financial world, I lend you $100. Okay. You're like, dude, I need $100. No problem. I lend you $100. I am not going to be like TikTok Brandi.
Yeah.
I'm not the mafia. I'm not like, if I don't get this back in a week, there's 20 points vig and send somebody over to rough you up. I don't give a damn. But if I find out you win 20,000 in the lotto and you're not getting around to paying me back the 100, then it's not the $100. It's not the tool. It's the principle.
Yeah. My thing is like, what if she had lent out this weeder and she'd been like counting the months going by and she's like, The weeder's still not here. The weeder's still not here. And like, it sounds like she's kind of going through all of her tools just to kind of that preparedness we were talking about. And then just be like, well, where is the weeder?
Yeah.
I don't know where it is. And then she kind of backtracked in her brain and then probably was thinking, oh yeah, that's right. I don't know. But Robert took it, and I think he still has it. And maybe I need to go and get it back kind of thing. It's like, you kind of have to go in. Like, how would you even go in and ask for that? Like,
you could just go like full passive aggressive. Every time you talk to Robert and Robert's like, how you doing? Be like, I'd love to get in my garden and do some weeding. Be like, oh, Robert, I want you to listen to my new favorite podcast. Send them this link. Robert's like, oh, that was a little on the nose.
I'm like trying to think of all the fun things that you could say and just be like, you roll past a cannabis store. Look at all that weed over there. or like, wow, you have such a weed-free yard.
Yeah.
Robert.
My hair is growing like a weed. like, go full passive aggressive on him. Just bombard him with weed stuff. Oh, hey, I just remembered. You're like, oh my God, Robert, good to see you. How's the family? How's it going? You know what I just thought of? That weeder. You're like trying to play like it hasn't been number one thought on your mind from the moment you wake up and you're like, oh, it's Thursday. Goddamn, Robert.
No, but it's so true. Like I don't know if it's just me or maybe it's like a generational thing or I don't know what it is, but I get so much anxiety when I go into a conversation knowing that I have to ask for something. And then it's like I can't have the pleasantries at the beginning. I just go straight into it. And I'm like, oh, okay, the weight's off my back. Hey, let's talk about your kids.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. I just feel like
solid.
Like there's like this anxiety and asking for something back. I am more prone to being like, oh, you can just keep it. I'll just buy another weeder, you know?
On that, can I borrow $100?
No.
Worth a try.
But it's also like there's the other side of it too, where you're like, oh, wow, I hope that weeder served them well. I have good stuff.
And here's the thing as well. I'm not victim blaming Pam at all. I'm on your side. I've made that abundantly clear. Don't lend people your favorite stuff.
Oh, you know what? That's a very valid point. I guess if you're not expecting it back, like, and it's your favorite thing, like, why is it worth all the stress?
Yeah. I've got,
maybe gift them your favorite weeder.
Like when I did landscaping, so we had mishmash of tools because you'd buy a tool and you'd go back the next year, you really liked it and it was discontinued or they were sold out, but you had to have a new trowel or shovel or whatever it might be. So you buy what's available.
Yeah.
So you end up with 3 different types of rakes. You've got 8 rakes, but 3 different types. And especially in spring and autumn cleanup, when all of the crews were together and there was, sometimes like 12 of us, 15 of us going out, everybody had their favorite tool to the point that some of the guys would personalize it. And it was my buddy Kev. It was Kev or James, I'm sure of it. They brought hockey tape in. They played hockey and they hockey taped their tools.
Seriously?
So they had the same grip as the hockey stick.
Wow.
But it was like, that's my shovel.
Okay.
That's the one I use. And you're like, all right, cool. If you do you, man. Like if you spent the time on your lunch break to hockey tape that shovel.
I feel like you'd
cool
find the
that.
same at a community garden plot as well. You'd probably go into the shed and you'd see all of these like nobody used this. I went into a salon the other day and I hadn't been in a salon in over a year, a hair salon. There's this one lady who was like, I've spent 5 years at the same chair. And then Rebecca over there is in my chair today and I have to work over here. And it was like, I was sitting there and it was like Days of Our Lives. And she was talking to the other hairstylist, like adjacent. She's like, yeah, it's very weird that I'm over here, isn't it? Like, I'm so used to being over there. And I was just sitting there being like, I'm postpartum. This is my first haircut in over a year. And I'm listening to this. It's just wild. Yeah. But it's crazy how like we become so attached to those material things and it can create such an emotional response, right? And for all we know, Robert, we're just making up a name, but like,
I hope it's not Robert.
But like, can you imagine if Robert's just like, dude, I just forgot. Like,
and this is absolutely, I've done this with my own tools and landscaping, 100% done it. You're working, you're doing something, you put a tool down, somebody else comes along and blows a pile of leaves over it.
Yeah.
And then it ends up in the compost. Mm-hmm. Just tell me. Mm-hmm. Dude, I have no idea where that weeder is. I can put a line through it. I'm not going to end a friendship over something like that.
Some might.
And that's on them.
Yeah.
You got to make your own judgment call on that. I won't let anybody else even use my pruners.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got other pruners.
Mm-hmm.
And Jenny's like, hey, can I use your pruners? And it's hard. It's hard. And I'm like, yeah, but you have to use them like this and do that. And she's just like, okay, can you cut that for me? I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
But I put those rules in because I don't want something stupid. Because you're right. We all have things that we end up liking. And the flip side of that is I have a shovel that if you were like, dude, can I borrow a shovel? I'm like, just have it.
Mm-hmm.
If you need to borrow it, clearly you don't have one.
Mm-hmm.
I have enough. You're a close friend. Just take it.
Yeah. Just
don't return it. I don't want it back. I've got 3 others.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 4 rakes. I have enough that if somebody really needs a tool, is it going to be my best one? No.
Yeah.
Is it going to be my worst one? Also, no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you a decent shovel.
Yeah.
Right? Don't lend out your favorite stuff, but absolutely ask for it back.
What about like power tools? I know in my community, we actually have a garden equipment like rental space.
Okay, yep.
So you actually go to the community center and you're like, hey, I'm doing some gardening today. I need a rake. And then you can borrow a rake, but you have to bring it back. And they're like adamant. They're like, you get it for this day between these hours. And then they really make sure that they bring it back. Because I mean, if they abuse it, then they're out of rakes.
And the thing is, that's fair enough. You know what? If I'm planning on doing all of my planting on the weekend.
Yes.
Okay. And you're like, hey, I really need to get my spring bulbs in the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I borrow a trowel? I can put a rule on that. I can go, yeah, absolutely. But you got to get it back to me by Friday.
Right.
Okay. I need it back because I'm doing all my planting.
Yeah.
That's a fair transaction.
I kind of like that. So even before you've learned here, maybe ask for it back and then navigate that conversation, not passive aggressively. But next time that you lend something out to Robert, maybe you set the ground rules and just be like, hey, I need it back by this time. And maybe you don't need it back at that time,
Exactly.
but like you kind of just want to get it back. There's that option.
Hey, Robert, you can borrow my shovel. I need it back in a week because you clearly can't be trusted.
Yeah. Hey, Robert, I'll bring the shovel and myself over and I'll do it for you. And then I'll take the trowel back with me.
That's how you do it. You go, hey, Robert, I've got a good idea this spring. Why don't we help each other do the garden? I'll come over and do your weeding.
Yes. So.
And then you're like, oh, I forgot my weeder. Do you have one I could borrow?
Dude, then just watch the sudden realization grow on their face.
Exactly.
That's very diabolical, Colin.
I'm just saying
layered.
there's ways around it.
Oh my goodness. Well, Pam, did we help you?
Good luck, Pam. I'm hashtag Team Pam.
I feel like we can't just say you do you. We can't do that. But I feel like we have a menu for you.
Yeah.
So pick which one is the least scariest option and do that. And I believe me, I don't think that Robert is out to get you over a weeder. Just go into that because I think it's so possible for us to always think of worst case scenario. Be like, they didn't give that back to me. They must hate me. They must whatever.
Or the other thing, I'm not guilty of that. The one I can be guilty of, and I've kind of taught myself not to do it. Maybe I used to be guilty of it. I've definitely gotten better as I got older.
Yeah.
Do you ever find yourself doing that and you're nurturing a resentment on a one-sided conversation?
Yeah.
You haven't talked to the person. You don't know why they didn't return it. You have no concept of what's going on, but you're like, well, they should have returned. I would have returned it if they'd lent it to me. Mm-hmm. And then you start developing this resentment.
Or like they kept your weeder and you're like, oh no, what have I kept of theirs that's why they kept their weeder? Like you build this whole narrative around
You've got like this resentment paranoia thing going on over something that would literally be a 25-second conversation. It's like forgetting somebody's name.
Yeah.
You forget their name and you're like, oh my God, I can't ask them. What'll they think? And yet this has happened numerous times to probably everybody on the planet. People come up and they go, I'm so sorry, I forget your name. I go, it's Colin.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the end of it.
It took 5 seconds and you spent how many seconds worrying about it?
And I'm not resentful.
Yeah.
I was just emailing somebody recently. I don't know how it happened. She was like, hi, Colin, will you come speak at this group event? I said, I'm very interested. I'd love to help you out. When are you thinking time-wise? And she's like, hi, Colin, thank you so much for your interest. These are the dates we're doing. I messaged back and said, hey, it looks like I'm free that date. How long were you thinking? Do you want me to do a PowerPoint? And she said, hey, Tom, PowerPoint would be great. My bet is she was thinking of somebody called Tom.
Dude, you should just put Tom on everything now.
Well, first one I let go. Second email, whatever, the fourth or fifth in the chain. But the second one, she called me Tom. And I was like, do not make a big thing out of this. Do not worry about it. I've definitely been called worse. It's Colin, not Tom. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe that happened. And I'm like, don't be. But the thing is, she would have been more embarrassed if she called me that to my face and somebody had to correct her.
Yeah.
So it's anything that can be fixed in 20 seconds or less, tell the person. Okay, somebody's having a bad hair day. They know they're having a bad hair day. They can't fix that. Let it go. Somebody's zipper's down. They obviously don't know, and they can fix that in 3 seconds.
Yeah, and it would suck if you went out and bought a whole new weeder, and then they were like, oh, hey, I found this in my toolkit. I've remembered I borrowed this from you. Now you have 2 weeders.
Oh, new passive-aggressive thing. When the Canadian Tire catalog comes out, send Robert all the clippings for weeders and be like, what do you think of this one, Robert?
Think about getting you a birthday present so that I can get mine back.
Gift him a weed. Merry Christmas.
I already have one.
He re-gifts it.
This podcast is brought to you by Golden Acre Home and Garden. Find seasonal inspiration for your home and garden in Calgary, Alberta year-round. Visit goldenacre.ca. The comments and opinions expressed by the helpful gardeners on this show are our own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Golden Acre Home and Garden. For more information on everything we covered today and to leave us a voice note, visit goldenacre.ca/podcast. The Helpful Gardeners are on Instagram at The Helpful Gardeners Pod. Keep on growing, gardeners!